let me remind you that this class is being recorded, and in 20 minutes or 25 minutes, we're going to stop the first part of the class, and then we're going to restart it with a different session, okay? Just because of this software doesn't allow us to have more than 40 minutes with an open presentation, with an open meeting. We're going to start with employment. Employment is one of the broad topics that have inside of it different topics, and it's going to help us understand in a deeper thought the way they want us to work, whether it be for the component 2, individual research, or component 3 for the team project. Okay, so when we talk about employment, we talk about motivation. Okay, because what makes us have jobs, the motivation, whether it be like psychologically speaking, it could be because we want to achieve some goals, because we want money, because we want to survive, whatever the reasons for having a job or for having work to do, is that we are looking forward to do something. In this case, your students, is the students considered work? Let's find it within the definition. Okay, but let's start with it. Sorry, I got lost. Okay, what motivates us to achieve? Motivation is the reason for acting or behaving in a certain way and represent a desire or willingness to achieve a particular goal. In this case, you have the motivation to finish your studies at high school or to finish the Global Perspectives course. It depends on each individual or one of you. If you have one objective, if you have one goal that you want to achieve, that might be considered also as work. But it depends also on the perspective or on the individual view of someone. Why do you want to work, right? Sorry. Let me check out one thing. Yeah, and that leads us to one. Oh, sorry, not so technology friendly right now. Okay, yeah, and that leads us to this acceleration by Confucius. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Okay. Everything we do might be considered as job from the motivational perspective, but why do you study? Why do I work? Why does anyone in this world work? Or why does anyone have an objective? Because they need to feel better about themselves, right? But let's focus on the main questions, right now. Why do people work? Okay, why is employment important? Why do people gain? What do people gain from working? People that work not only gain knowledge, experience, but they also gain money, which is essential for surviving in our society. As well as being, as this small fragment of an article says, as well as being important for the economy, being employed is an important part of people's lives, right? A research found that there is a positive relationship between people's satisfaction with their job and their satisfaction with life overall, and that unemployment can have a lasting negative impact on people's well-being. However, they also found that most people wanted a better balance between work and leisure and would like to work fewer hours if they could afford to do so. Okay, yes, that's a common opinion, a common perspective, that a lot of the people don't like what they do. They tend to or try to work less hours and try to spend leisure time a couple more hours. Why is that? Because they sometimes they don't like what they do. They don't like their works, and they only work for one goal, which is the sustain of their family, or even their own sustain because of the money. Okay, but does it have a negative impact in our family lives? Of course, because often when somebody works and it has troubles at work, it reflects on the family life at home. And it goes the other way around as well. When a person has personal issues or family issues, when they once they go to the work, it affects their development and what they do at work. So it affects it negatively. Motivation at work. Is it all about the money? Here, I'm going to send links to videos where we have small lectures on about surprising perspectives about working. Okay, but in essence, it's this. Steve Jobs says, if you don't love it, you're going to fail. Means that you have to focus on what you like, on what you want to achieve in order to do something well. Okay? And Daniel Ariely, a behavioral economist, says what motivates us to work, contrary to conventional wisdom, it isn't just money, but it's not exactly joy either. It seems that most of us thrive by making constant progress on feeling a sense of purpose. Yes, in essence, we don't only work for money, we work because we have a sense of purpose, of a sense that we are doing something good to other people, that we are something remarkable that is going to help or make a stain in different people's lives. So we work for objectives, for purpose, for different purposes, for motivation, for money, for different reasons. Okay? And also, according to Steve Jobs, we have to love what we do. We have to be really interested in what we do in order for us to do it well, to do it right. Okay? Let's go. A psychologist in the medium 60s, like more than 50 years ago, a humanist psychologist stated a hierarchy, a pyramid of hierarchy in needs. Okay, his name is Maslow. It's Maslow, the well-known theories about people's needs and motivations. The theory was developed by the psychologist Abraham Maslow in 1943. He proposed that as humans struggle to meet their most basic needs, they also seek to satisfy a higher set of needs. What he says essentially is that we all need to satisfy specific specific needs, basic needs, in order to go up on the pyramid of hierarchy of needs. Let me show you one image, but I don't know how to share it right here. 1 second, trying to figure it out. Yes, 1 second. I'm trying to share it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, it starts with the psychological needs itself as basic and physiological needs. Sorry, physiological needs: air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, reproduction, whatever or the essential things we need, especially food, water, and sleep. Okay, and once we satisfy those needs, we can move up on the pyramid and say that, okay, I have satisfied all these needs: the air, water, food, shelter, sleep, and now I need some other things in order to feel well or to be happy. Okay, because this pyramid was first built to explain what is the self-actualization process in order to be happy, to become happy. And safety needs. We move on to the second layer of the pyramid. In the second layer, we have the security aspects, okay? the safety needs, employment, resources, health, property. Okay. Once we have satisfied all our basic needs, we move on to satisfy one layer above, which are the resources, like a bed, like a health system, a job, a security within a society, a neighborhood, a house. Okay, those are safety needs. Okay. After we have all of those things, we move even up the layers of the pyramid, where is love and belonging. We need a social circle that is going to satisfy all our emotional needs. Okay, here is where we start emotional leading. The friendship, intimacy, like a partner or life or a husband and a wife, family, either be with parents or for children, and a sense of connection, a sense you belong to some place, that you, for example, are Peruvian, that you, for example, are from Tacna, and you're going to do something about it, like in order to do better things for your community. Okay, that's love and belonging. Now, moving up into the layers of emotional needs are the esteem, the respect to others and to myself, the self-esteem, the recognition, the status, socially speaking, the strength, and the freedom. Okay. When we say strength, we are not talking about physical strength. We're talking about, sorry. When we say strength, we're talking about how well, how are we taking into account in our society? Are we important to someone? That is esteem. Okay. And at last, we have the self-actualization. Is the purpose of achieving our own goals. Okay, is the desire to become the most that one can be by achieving our goals. Okay, that part is important. We only achieve our objectives once all the other layers of the pyramid have been fulfilled. For example, if your objective in your life is to be uh, is to found your own is to be entrepreneur and to found your own business and to start it and to be able to um, and to be able to accomplish a lot of things or gain a lot of money, we need to fulfill a lot of these needs. First, you need to be well in health and in mind, which are the physiological and safety needs. You need a family, you need a purpose, you need self-esteem and respect for yourself and for one another. And then you're going to achieve your goals. Okay? This is the pyramid of Maslow regarding employment. Okay? He said, I suppose it is tempting if the only tool you have is a hammer to treat everything as if it were a nail. One of his main purpose of his theory was that everyone is different and everyone has different uh, objectives, different focuses, different motivations. That's why he drew that as a pyramid, with the lower levels signifying the most basic needs related to survival and the upper levels representing the higher level of growth needs. Okay? Uh, I don't know if you have any questions. It is all clear. It's not difficult, this part. No? Okay. We move on to the second part then. Look, today I'm going to leave you two activities. Okay. This activity, which is reading, it says, did you know Mount Everest and George Mallory? You're going to read it after, and you're going to reflect on motivation. Okay, and motivation through the eyes of others. This is your first activity. That is going to be on CNET today at evening. And we're going to move on to the second part. Employment and financial reward. Okay, these modules are of self-assessment, of self teaching, and I'm showing them to you so we can so you have a visual aid on what the topics we're going to be revising for the for the Global Perspectives IGCSE. Okay, when do you have to send the work? The work is going to be due for next week, before our next class. Okay, so our next class is going to be also on Friday, and I need this done by Thursday. Okay, so now let's go to employment and financial reward. Now that we have stated why do people work, and have stated that not everyone works because of the salary or the money. Many people work for objectives, for a sense of belonging, for to because somebody needs you and your job is important. Okay, whatever the reason is, we are going to see now employment and financial reward. Okay, the payment. There are a number of rewards available to employees of firms. When it says firms, it's jobs. Okay, it's workplaces. The basic wage. We're going to study to review small glossary, so you can. So while you read these articles or the following activity, you have a good idea of what you're reading. Okay, basic wages. What is basic wage? That is normally calculated on an hourly basis. Okay, for example, the basic wages is salario básico, ¿no? Sueldo básico. It's what you earn as a base and with no external rewards. Okay, and the second is the salary paid annually and related to the job requirements rather than the hours spent working. A lot of the jobs, especially in different countries, the contracts are not done by months. For example, here in Peru, it is common, it is customary that the jobs offer an employee a contract per month. Okay, this month you're going to earn. Okay, you sign a contract for 1 year. Each month you're going to earn 1,200 soles, for example, or 2,000 soles. Okay, but in but in different countries, the wages or the salary is paid annually. That doesn't mean that they are going to pay you once every year, but they promise you the sum of, for example, $200,000 per year, $150,000 per year. Okay, that's up to each company. Also, bonuses are the additions to the basic salary or wage based on performance targets or profit measures. Depending on the career or on the job that you have, you receive different bonuses. For example, the bonuses of Cineplanet are different than the bonuses in the school for teachers, or different for minors who work in Toquepala, for example. Okay, and how is it calculated, the bonuses? On a percentage of the annual revenue on the company. Okay, and other times it's because of performance, as it says right there on performance. Okay, if you are a good employee, if you're a good worker, if you help the company in a good way, you will get bonuses. Okay, and commissions, a percentage of sales made by the employee. This is a different types of job. Most of the salesmen in, for example, for car dealerships or people who sell houses or even cell phones, they have a basic wage, for example. Okay, let's say they earn 2,000 or 3,000 soles. And in addition, every time they sell a car, a house, a cell phone, I don't know, they get a commission out of it. And sometimes it is percentual and sometimes it is stated. Okay, for example, I happen to know that in real estate business, some people even earn commissions up to 10% of the total sold, 10% of the house value, okay, which is very good, a high amount of money. Okay, we have allowances for working unusual hours or for living in an expensive area. The allowances are whenever you have to work extra hours, that's considered an allowance. Whenever you have to move to a different country or to a different city to work in the same company, you get an allowance, which is a raise or an increase of money, depending on the circumstances that the job requires. Okay, it depends on the job and what he proposes to you. Okay, that's the allowance. Additional indirect benefits such as pension, sick pay, insurance, company car, club membership, staff discussions, and medical plans. In our country, we have some of those aspects covered, which is the AFP and the insurance company, Salud, for all workers, right? But Salud, for example, is not the only insurance company. We have La Positiva, we have Mafre, okay, which are insurances that sell also the same services than Salud, which is national, but to different companies. Some other companies prefer for the staff members to have a private security or private health system, for example. That's up to each company. And how do they benefit their employees? That's why it says additional indirect benefits. Okay, sick pay, some companies do not have it. Remember that our country has one of the least beneficial programs for workers as in comparison to some countries of Europe or even the United States. And also remember that the United States has a very expensive health system, and their neighbor country, which is Canada, they have a free health system. It varies. It depends mostly on the politics on a specific country. Okay, and the share stock ownership schemes. Once you go up in the chain of command, if you're the chief of a department, of the chief of one wing of the company, they may propose you to become a partnership, which means one of the owners, not longer the employees. Okay. Those are the financial rewards, or some of the motivational reasons for working. If we speak about money, right? These all are about money and privileges in case of additional indirect benefits. Okay. Now let's go to the non-financial motivation. We have seen the financial, which is the money motivation, and now let's go to the non-financial motivation. As we have seen, it appears from many experiments that money is not a major motivator once a person's basic physical and security needs have been met. There are clearly many other reasons why people choose a certain career and or accept employment with one organization over another, beyond the salary or wage offered. Yeah. There are a lot of reasons why you choose one career over another, or one type of job. Okay, some people like working in the health system because they want to help people. Some people like working in the health system because they want money. Whatever the reason, they have a job. And whenever it's not financial, it can be about job satisfaction. For example, doctors getting to help people, a lot of people. Psychologists getting to help, socially speaking. Arif, look, I don't want to be harsh, but please don't type unnecessarily. Okay, I don't want to exclude you from our chat room, please. The recognition from others, which means that your job is going to be important for other people, and you're going to be rewarded emotionally or even with a status, with a higher status recognition. Okay, the self-respect, the social aspects of the job, the challenge of the work itself, the desire to be one of the best in a profession, which is career and accomplishment, fear of unemployment, or social pressure. Those are some of the non-financial motivations. And what should you do? why are we studying this topic about motivation and job and employment? Because in the near future, or like in 10 years, well, less than 10 years, you're going to become one of the employees as well, or employers maybe, which means that you're going to work towards the development of our society, to help it or to not help it, and whatever the reason of your, or the motivation of you working, you're going to try to decide, or have to decide, something that is going to try to drive you towards self-actualization, according to Maslow. Okay, so we have reviewed the financial reason, the non-financial reasons, and then we have a different activity, which is going to be also on the CNET. Okay, you will have a video, you will have some statistics for the research, arguments. In briefly, that is a research study, and you're going to have different types of data which you need to read. I'm going to send everything to you, don't worry. And that is due in 1 week. You're going to have 6 days to finish it. It's not hard. And we're going to review it at the following class also, and moving on to the second discussion plan. One thing, I need you guys to start reading about these topics and different issues that they may have, because you're going to start your drafts for your individual report soon. Okay, not now, but soon you're going to start doing it. So please start reading all the topics. And I hope you have read the syllabus that I sent you, because that had one purpose, which is that you memorize the topics that you need to remember for the different components of the IGCSE. Okay, any questions so far? We have done motivation, why people work, financial reasons of working, and non-financial reasons of working. No questions? No, I'm not going to send the link of the page in chat, because this is a module of the IGCSE for teachers. What I'm going to send to you are like screenshots or images of these parts of the activities, everything, so that you are able to finish the work. Yeah, Luciana, why what? Do you have a question? Do you have a question? Okay. Yeah, it's easy. It's very easy. It's just reading and answering some questions. So don't worry. Now let's go to the third part. But before, I'm going to restart the. Okay, Asia, look, about the exams or the testing, that is going to be up to coordination or the principal to see how we're going to do it, because nothing about testing has been discussed yet. Maybe today, because today we have a teachers meeting, and then you're going to get your response. But regarding my course, regarding global perspectives, this is a research course. So if we have a test or a small test, it's going to be according to your exercises, or the exercises that we do in this book, which I hope you all have it. Okay? Yes, but you will also have activities to do on, like, small tests or practices to do on Google Forms that I'm going to do for you. Okay? So don't worry. Okay, now let's move on to the last part of today's class. But first, let me check the attendance and restart the meeting, because every 40 minutes we have to restart it. Okay, Mauricio, Arif, Jean Paul, Luciana, José, Sebastián, Oscar, Héctor, Omar, Francesca, Carlos, Sebastián, Cia, Vincenzo, Ariela, Viviana, Sol, Lucero, Julia y Héctor Lévano. Ok. Okay, students, sorry about the book. Yeah, this is not the first time, the first year that you're studying with me, okay? Last year, the previous year, I told you several times that we need to work with the book until 5th of secondary, okay? And the book was going to last you 4 years. So you need to take care of it. And if you didn't buy it, well, you had 1 year, over 1 year to buy the book. I'm sorry, I cannot do anything more for you, okay? Okay, let's continue. I'm going to restart the meeting.